Yes. Yes.
Sorry. So we were doing this program, and we started a group of about 100 souls in Brazil in this Sakash group. And then now we're starting it in the whole of the countries in our region here. All of the countries are on board. So it's already been an incredible experience to unify everyone. And so this will just really make things very, very nice. But of course, we have to prepare ourselves to be such honored instruments for Baba Sakash. So lovely to have you share some ideas with us.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Yes, I actually remember as we were driving from the airport to the center, and it took a long time, but you were sharing with me how every country has all the different problems and situations, and each morning there would be Sakash for a specific area. And so, yes, it's wonderful that this program is happening now. And I want to say firstly that I think it's very, very timely, because I know that Brahmins have heard many, many classes through Zoom over the last several months, but I think maybe we haven't given ourselves enough opportunity for deep, intense yoga. But also, I think the need for the world is this,
Necesidad del mundo es esta.
because our words may or may not reach them.
Nuestras palabras pueden o no alcanzarlos.
They may or may not understand or appreciate them, but everyone absolutely appreciates vibrations, and our vibrations can reach them. I want to give you a practical life story that I've just heard this morning about the power of Sakash. We have a sister here who had a fall. She's in her 60s, and falls are not always pleasant, and she's quite heavily built. And so her ankle, several bones in her ankle broke. And what she showed me today was a metallic plate about this big that has been inserted with several screws that have been put into her foot to hold it in place. And she said through the surgery, of course, there was anesthesia, and they inserted some sort of pain-killing mechanism into her foot that would last for about 15 hours. And they told her that that pain wouldn't be experienced for 15 hours, but after that, she could expect to have quite a bit of pain, and she would have to have painkillers orally. And next day, she waited for the pain to come. Nothing happened. 20 hours, 24 hours, no pain. Next day, and the next, and the next, and she did not have any pain. And her daughter could not believe that the mother had gone through this huge thing. The stitches on her leg were about this long on one side and this long on the other side, and she had no pain. And she said to Baba, "Baba, I know you give help to your children, but how come there isn't any pain?" And then she remembered, and she said, "It must be the blessings and the Sakaash I'm getting from the whole family, that I felt no pain at all." And then she said, "Sometimes I used to ask myself this question, what is this whole thing about Sakaash and vibrations? Does it really work?" And then she had to say to Baba, "Baba, forgive me for having had any doubt about it at all." And so here's one particular person who's very much in the household, but is part of the BK family in a big way. And this was her experience that she related to me in detail this morning. So it was appropriate that I was going to be joining you for this session. But yes, Sakaash does work. And I first came across this term when Bhau Dada Vishwakishore was in hospital. This was in March 1968. And he had just had surgery, and normally, at least today, you wouldn't die from surgery in those circumstances. But as it happened, he had huge, huge pain. And then he actually left the body. And prior to leaving Abu to go to Bombay, he had settled all the business that he needed to, done all the handover of all the different departments that he was involved with. In a way, he had known, maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't. Something was driving him. And Baba was told that his right hand, Dada Vishwakishore was his right hand at that point. And Baba was told that he's not complaining about anything, but he has a huge amount of pain and he's not able to sleep through the night because of the pain. And so Baba several nights stayed up and would share with that soul Baba's light and might, and allow that soul to have a little bit of comfort in that final period. Next day, Baba would speak about it in the Sakar Murlis, and Baba would say that when there's a soul who is worthy, when there's a soul who is deserving, then yes, Baba himself sits and gives Sakash to that soul. And so today we are talking about something that Baba experimented with himself many, many years ago. And today we know that the whole world is very much in need of Sakash. In Latin America, they know God. As a father, they love God, but they don't know God exactly who he is and what he is. And maybe some will get to know before the end, and everybody will get to know at the end. But still, at this moment, when they're in need of help, we need to support them so that their faith in God stays strong and is reinforced, and they're able to take the support that God's light and love can give them. And so how can I be an instrument to make that happen? And I want to differentiate between me giving Sakash and me allowing Baba to come in front of me and Baba giving Sakash. I personally always feel that I cannot give Sakash, but what I can do, and there's a preparation that I have to do for this, I have to bring Baba in front of me. And then Baba, the unlimited source of all attributes, can send out that light and might to everyone, and everybody can experience this and be filled with this and take benefit from this, so that they don't lose hope, they don't go down into the pit of fear and helplessness and hopelessness, because there's a huge amount of darkness in the world. And the news is such that you don't know who to trust. Should we wear masks? Should we not wear masks? There's different opinions. Is it really only infectious, or is it really a killer? Different people have different opinions about all of these things, but we don't have to get into that at all. We know that this is, again, one of the signs of Kali Yuga coming to its end. And Kali Yuga won't go out quietly. It'll go out kicking and screaming right until the very end. And so this is one of the screams that we're hearing now. But of course, further down the line, we're going to see the huge rise in unemployment and in financial problems, and maybe difficulty in obtaining food, difficulty in obtaining water. So all of these things are the scenarios that we understand and we know about, but we also know that it's part of the cleansing and the resettling and the resetting of the whole planet to create a better world. But now, at this moment, when souls are in distress, our role is to be able to give them the support and help they need through God. And so I need to have a very, very clear connection myself with Baba. And I know that the dadis would say, but you need to have that constantly. You know, Dadi's classic answer, how many hours do you meditate? And Dadi's response, don't ask me how long I meditate, ask me how long I don't meditate. And so that's the model, the example for all of us. But yet still, I know that sometimes we get our heads into things that the daddies didn't necessarily get their heads into, like all the logistics and technical details and practicalities that many of us have to deal with, all of us have to deal with, and the daddies didn't necessarily do that. But apart from those times when I'm very, very focused on some technical details and logistical matters, there's a huge amount of time in which I'm doing things that don't necessarily require that intellectual input. And so what am I doing during that period? Am I creating a deeper and deeper, more loving connection with Baba? Am I practicing the stage of soul consciousness? Am I making sure that my attitude is one of gratitude rather than an attitude in which there's anything else about anyone else at all? Only love and good wishes and blessings. So my job is to prepare myself to be an instrument to invoke Baba, so that then Baba can give that light and might and power and love to the soul, one soul, many souls, the whole region, a whole country, whatever it is. And so my preparation. The words that Dadi has been using towards the end have been not just the 5 virtues that she very, very often spoke about, but she actually condensed it to 3. She condensed it to honesty, simplicity, and also purity. And so can I come to that state where there's a state in which the soul can really be transparent? I've dealt with all the rubbish, I've put it away, I've cleaned it up, it's out now, and I know that with Baba's help and protection, it isn't going to come back. Am I keeping my thoughts very, very simple, so that my language can also be simple? My lifestyle can also be simple. Is it possible for me to refine everything in that way so that truly there is simplicity in my life? And the third one, the purity. And when we think about Dadiji, we've been thinking about her for several days now because it's her month. Purity comes to mind in a very big way. And so what does it mean to have a pure heart, a pure intellect, a pure mind with pure thoughts and feelings, pure sanskars? If I can manage that state of purity, then yes, I'm very, very close to the golden age. I can see the trees of the golden age in the distance, or maybe not so far away in the distance. I can see them very, very close by. And so that's the preparation I first need to have, so that when I have the thought, Baba, I want to be with you, just the word Baba is magic, and my thoughts get connected with Baba. And in that connection with Baba, I've taken what I need from Baba, but now what I'm doing is specifically sitting there and connected with Baba, but now not taking for myself. I'm sending out with Baba, Baba's light and might and love out to the place that is most needed. I know that you are going to take it geographically, alphabetically, and go through all the different countries and know about the region, know about the needs of that particular country. And so, yes, I have all that information in the back of my mind, but I'm not going to say to Baba, Baba, this is because somebody is sick, or this is because this country is having riots, or this is because, no. Baba knows what the need is and where it is. So what I'm doing is I've done my job of cleansing and making things very, very clean and pure. Now it's me and Baba, but now not just for me, but Baba's qualities to be shared with all those in that country, which is the focus that we have at that particular moment. And maybe you don't see instant results, because giving Sakash is quiet, incognito, like with Dada Vishwakishore. It was only Baba who knew that Baba was doing this. And yes, they would report to Baba every day and say, yes, after a restless night filled with pain, he had a couple of hours of rest in which he seemed to be quite comfortable and okay. That was the only feedback Baba had. But it helped that soul in that final period. And so it's a little bit like that. The earth is now going through its final period. Humanity is going through its final period. And what we can do is to offer a little bit of solace, a little bit of comfort. And souls who are ready to take that Sakash are going to be accepting it into their hearts. And what they will feel is faith in God increasing, hope for the future increasing, and they will feel that God's love has melted their hearts. Because so often today we find that people put up a big block against love because they've been deceived, they've been hurt, they've been misled, and so many different factors have made them put up shutters and blocks, so that instead of allowing the love to reach them, the love gets stopped by their own behavior and their own attitude. But with God's love, those barriers begin to melt, and God's love is able to reach them. And the result of God's love is that they're able to feel a healing take place of the soul, because everyone carries many, many wounds, and the wounds have sometimes left big scars. And so the power of love will heal the wounds, and the scars will be removed as they begin to know God and come closer to God. So even the scars will begin to disappear. For the most important thing is to know that it's God who can truly give that light and might, not me. Sometimes we have this ego that I was giving Sakash. No, I think I have to remember that I can connect with Baba, and Baba will give Sakash to all the people who need it, but not just people, the animals. Just think about the wildfires that happen in the region. And so far we've been very aware of human life or property. But now I think since the Australian bushfires, we've been aware of the damage to wildlife and the billions of all creatures who are actually destroyed through all of this, through the bushfires or through the fires in the Amazon and so on. It's time for lots of fires in the Amazon also. And the Amazon isn't just in one country, but in many of your countries. And what's the impact of that on all sorts of situations? So time to let Baba step in. Baba is the almighty authority, and Baba knows what to do. Baba knows what to give to which place. And it's been very interesting reading all the messages Baba has given to the different continents. And so whether it's the Americas, whether it's the Caribbean like today, whether it's Europe, Baba knows. You can just see from the things Baba is saying that not only is Baba aware of the three worlds and the three dimensions of time and so on, but Baba is talking about the conditions of that place and the feelings of people in that place. So Baba knows very, very well what's going on everywhere. And so what we have to do is to step out of the way, just connect with Baba and let Baba step in and let Baba give that Sakash to all so that all can take benefit and they will feel God's presence reaching them. And I think this is one of the main reasons why all this is happening, so that people can have virag, disinterest, distaste for the old world. It's tasteless, no more passion for the old world. And instead of that, ready for something that's going to uplift them and carry them further. And like Baba said today, they know there's nothing out there left anymore. Maybe they're not articulating it, but maybe in a little while they will have the courage to be able to speak about it. But the Sakash that reaches them from Baba is going to help them come to that awareness that they can have all that they need from one, and if what they want is liberation, God is ready to give them liberation. If what they want is something more than that, well, they'll know who to come to, and they'll come phoning you, knocking on your door, or sending you messages, so many that you won't have time to sleep. Baba told us all this, that will also happen. And so thank you for giving me this opportunity. I think it's a wonderful project, and I know that it's exactly what the Brahmin family needs, but also I know that this is what the world needs at this moment. So when both things come together, the needs of the family and the needs of the world, and we become instruments to be able to make that happen, just imagine the blessings that come to you. And I was fascinated with the fact the other day when Baba said, the inheritance from Baba is power. And the way to get power is firstly purity and remembrance, and secondly, through doing good karma, incognito, pure actions without any motive, altruistic actions. And so giving Sakash is truly altruistic. No return, no glory, just the conviction and the contentment that I'm doing what Baba wants me to do at this moment of need. And I know you'll all enjoy it immensely, and you'll really feel the power that Baba's giving you all. And hopefully those souls who are being served will begin to feel God's presence and God's help through the support you are giving them. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Jayanti. I think every single word melted our heart, and we will surely do that homework. I was so touched. I was in tears listening to you, honestly, just to think how Baba will reach out to everyone in such an incognito way through his children. So thank you very, very much. Manuel, ¿está previsto que ella va a guiar una meditación? ¿Te puedo? Manuel, ¿me escuchas?
Sí.
Entonces, Sister
ella va a
Jayanti
guiar.
puede guiar una meditación.
¿Le puedo pedir?
Sí, claro.
Jayanti Ben, can you guide us through a short meditation with you together?
Sure.
Thank you.
Going deep inside, in the awareness of the eternal being that I am, a being of light, a child of God, I connect with Baba. And Baba's warm embrace of love surrounds me. And truly, I am lost in Baba's love, experiencing being seated in Baba's heart, merged in that love. I just simply have to stay here and be with Baba and watch how Baba does his magic. And Baba's light radiates out into that country. Baba's light enters their hearts and opens up their hearts. And Baba's love is able to reach them. Baba's love begins to heal their wounds, so they feel the comfort that God provides. God's love inspires them to be strong, and the power of love liberates them from the weakness of fear. Baba's love fills them with might, so that they can do the right thing, knowing that it might be challenging for others, for they carry the inspiration to do that which is right. Baba's love touches all creatures and offers them protection. Baba's love reaches all the elements of nature. A journey begins to that state where all souls can be liberated and return home, and God's light and might can cleanse the world, so that the new world can begin very soon. Om Shanti.